Jack, I know last time out you didn't get the result that you wanted. I know it was a frustrating setback, but you handled it with class. What's the focus been like for you since?
It has been on development to be a better fighter and to up my game, and I feel like I've done that in the last 6 months.
Were there any specific lessons that you took out of that, like just parts? I mean, other than overall, was there something specific that you took out of that?
Especially from that fight, because I felt more than the fighting itself, it was more about the mindset, because I locked a little bit into that I was better than him on the ground. So I just wanted to take the fight there, and it got too obvious for him. So he basically knew what I was going to do, and it was easy for him to time that uppercut and catch me. So what I learned from that is to be more unpredictable and to use all my tools as we do in training.
Nice. You were still given a matchup with the former champion in your return, originally scheduled. That fell apart with everything that's happened. Were you hoping to keep that fight together, or did it matter to you?
Not when this fight came about. I wanted the fight, so I was sorry for that. But when this came, I was just like, this is a better switch actually, because I feel like Gastelum is more relevant in the current situation in the division.
Yeah, he's kind of in a similar position to you, right? Where,
exactly.
He's coming off some things. He said, I'm mentally changed now, I'm physically changed. So what kind of form are you expecting him to be in on Saturday?
I'm expecting the best Kelvin. That's what I need to do, and his performance against Adesanya, even though we lost, was a great one. I think that's the Kelvin that I'm going to face on Saturday.
You know, there's a lot of talent up at the top of this division. You took a little step back, but I think you're still up there at the top. Are you thinking about positioning and rankings and title shots?
All the time. That's everything that's in my mind. That's why I do this, to become the champion, and that's everything I work for.
Yeah. Last thing for me, you guys have both been in some great fights. So I mean, when you play this out in your head, like how do you see this one going? Are you going to be able to dominate, or are we going to be in for a battle? What kind of fight are we going to see here?
I'm picturing myself a hard, tough battle, but at the same time, I'm going to look for the finish from the start to the end. So my goal is to finish the fight.
Obviously, the Weidman fight falling through is a bit of a blow, but when you did see Kelvin's name come across your desk, what's the mindset? Because obviously he's still, like you said, more relevant in the division, probably a bigger name at this point. So what is the reaction when you see? I
was super happy when I got that fight. I've been calling him out before, and I think that's the fight to make. We're next to each other in the rankings, both in a similar situation. So I think there is no better fight to do. So I was super happy.
You mentioned his fight with Adesanya, obviously that was a crazy war, but then you went on to fight Darren Till, and everyone says like Darren Till works out how to just stuff him and sort of stifle him. Do you look at that fight and think, okay, I see exactly what moves he did, or do you think Kelvin was the one who sort of didn't show up that night?
A lot of people ask me that, but at the same time, I have a totally different style than what Darren has. So I feel like it's always the styles versus each other. So I don't take too much from that fight, actually.
Are you a guy who likes to plan ahead? You mentioned you always think about titles. Are you a guy who likes to look at the fight and then think where that can take you afterwards?
Yeah, it's impossible not to do that. So yeah, for sure.
So then, do you look at this fight and then do you maybe look at next weekend's Till Whittaker fight and sort of think, hello, there's something there for me?
You said it. Yeah.
Is there a preference from either one of those guys?
No, former champ versus Till, that is a huge following, and he's a funny dude, and he's gonna make a lot of buzz around the fight. So I love any of them.
And in this last one for me, in this sort of a coronavirus world that we're living in, there's no real certainty how often you can work, right? Because the world can change every 2 weeks. Do you get yourself in shape like you are now and then think, I just need to stay active and just fight as often as I can? Or do you think, I need to make sure the fights I pick are the right ones for me?
Right now in my career, it's all about the fights. So if I win this fight, I definitely would love a top 5 opponent. So that's what I will gonna work for and push for.